In this video we review how to add and subtract decimals. There's a very important idea when it comes to working with decimals, and that is that we must match up the place values. So to do that with decimals, when we add or subtract, we line up the decimal points. And as long as we remember to line up the decimal points, adding and subtracting decimals is no different than adding and subtracting whole numbers. Let's consider, for example, the addition problem. 0.37 plus 0.084, or if I write it properly, 37 hundredths plus 84 thousandths. So typically we write these down vertically, and then we just add. Once we line up our decimal points, we just add straight down. After the 7 there in the 0.37, there is a 0. So 0 and 4 is 4. And then we do 7 and 8 is 15, carry the 1. 1 and 3 is 4, and of course 0 and 0 is 0. So we get the answer 0.454, which we could read as 454 thousandths. If you check the notes, I go over and review in the notes the place values for decimals. So you may want to take a look at that diagram in the notes for R3 decimals. Let's continue on with another example here. Here we're taking the decimal 4.017, or 4 and 17 thousandths, minus 3.42, or 3 and 42 hundredths. Again, we write it down vertically. After the 2 in the 3.42, there's a 0. There's actually as many zeros as you want. So we just subtract. 7 minus nothing is 7. Now when we come to the next step, we got 1 minus 2, which we can't do, so we try to borrow from the 0. We can't, so we borrow from the 4. The 4 becomes a 3. Now the 0 will temporarily become 10, but since we have to borrow for the next one, we borrow from the 10 and it becomes a 9. And then we borrow and put the 1 with the 1 to give us 11. And then we can carry our subtraction through. 11 minus 2 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. And so we bring down the decimal point. We get the answer 0.597. One final example here. Let's consider 7.3 minus 0.25. So once again, write everything down. Now this time you may find it helpful to actually insert the 0. We could have done that in either of the other two problems. We didn't absolutely have to. Here it's kind of helpful to insert that extra 0 at the end of the 3. And then we subtract. We can't do 0 minus 5, so we borrow from the 3. It becomes a 2. The 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 2 minus 2 is 0. 7 and nothing is 7. Bring down the decimal point. And that's pretty much the process for adding and subtracting. We just have to make sure to line up the decimal points.